I'm an immigrant from Russia. I came to Canada 13 years ago, so I know what it's like to live in challenging situations, to be brought up in a financially constrained environment. So I think the principles of equity, diversity, and inclusion come naturally to me. At the University of Victoria, I employ these principles organically at every single step of my research, when I recruit students or when I form teams to conduct grants, write grants, conduct research. I make sure that all teams are balanced, be it academics or students or staff or consultants. I make sure that that balance is not just in terms of gender and culture, that people have different lived experiences, that we have Indigenous voices at the table. So I also belong to a group called Women in Sustainable Energy Research. That's a great outlet to post ads, to let people know in marginalized populations or communities about opportunities in my lab. When we do research, I tend to do a lot of representative surveys of population. By making service representative, we make sure that we represent the whole population, not just a particular portion of population. But when we work with existing data sources, I think it's really important to acknowledge that there are cultural and institutional gaps, and to employ methods like interviews with marginalized communities that allow us for this extra input that's lacking. And finally, when I disseminate my research findings, I work with communications experts in the university to make sure that information is shared via different outlets. I also translate every single piece of research into lay terms and publish it in op-eds in newspapers, media interviews, or I go to specific outlets that are interested to marginalized communities where access to internet, for example, is limited.